Hello everyone, welcome to the Project Virtual Conference. So my name is Vadim Bognov, I'm Microsoft Project MVP from Russia. And today I'm gonna talk about resource management resource manager role in Microsoft EPM. So I've been implementing Microsoft Project Server Business since 2002. And I've made a lot of implementations, I think more than 150 implementations over the course of these years. And I want to show you one of the slides you might remember from Microsoft Project Server 2003. So here you see typical roles of enterprise project management solution. And here you see the management, the project managers, team members, IT, and resource managers. So you can see that resource manager is a role that Microsoft thought about for a while, and actually if you look in the project server permissions and typical security groups, you will also see resource manager there. But let's think what actually a resource manager or a team lead can do in the system and what he cannot do. Actually, resource manager in Microsoft EPM, he can see how his subordinates are allocated by projects. If they are assigned by project managers to their projects. In certain scenarios, with the most advanced clients that I worked with, resource manager can approve resources for a project, but again, not for specific task, but just for a project. And then actually, resource manager cannot control how project manager utilize his resource, to what tasks are his resources assigned, and to what amount of work is assigned. He can only see this with reports, but he cannot anyhow participate in this process. Of course, since resource manager can only see the workload of his team across the projects with resource assignments, reports in resource center, or other reports with reporting services or Excel services, he cannot do anything with the workload. He cannot do leveling. He cannot actually replace one person with another if someone gets sick, and etc. And of course, he cannot anyhow plan and assign resources to non-project tasks. You can only specify these in categories or in time categories, and then a resource manager can only approve or reject actuals, but he cannot do any planning in this area. So I would say that resource manager actually in a project server in its typical out-of-the-box installation, typical permissions that are set, is more kind of resource viewer, but not actually a manager. And I hope you agree with me. I would like to see your comments in the chat. And then let's think, why is this done that way in project server, and it's done over the course of years. I think now we can refer to the methodology perspective, to the PMBOK guide. You know that in PMBOK guide and other project management standards or guides, you know that there are different project organization types, the way how project teams can function and organized. And you know that there is a functional organization type, the matrix, and a projectized organization. And matrix, in its turn, it's subdivided into weak matrix, balanced, or strong matrix. And so what we see in Microsoft EPM, actually, the role of resource manager is the one that is typical for strong matrix organization or even projectized organization. So that's why the resource manager is a viewer. Because in the way the Microsoft EPM is designed, the project manager has much more authority than resource manager. And from technical perspective, a project manager has a Project Pro client, Project Web App, a lot of web parts, and the resource manager has just 2 or 3 web parts for viewing his resources, viewing their assignments or workload. But actually, I talked to Microsoft developers team informally about that, and they said that their feeling is that this is correct because most of the organizations, or maybe in US or in Europe, they have a strong matrix project organization type. But from what I see in Russia, and again, I'm curious about your opinion about your countries. Please let me know. I see that many organizations, they utilize a weak. Some of them are even functional organizations. The majority of companies I work with use weak metric structure. Maybe some of them use balanced structure. And I work with very large accounts like Gazprom, like Central Bank of Russia, like Russia's Atomic State Corporation, and not only Russia, Kazakhstan, and another countries across Europe as well. And what I see that companies normally are weak metrics. They're not project organizations. They're more process-oriented organizations who want to implement some of the project management tools and techniques, and that's why they turn to Project Server, for example. And again, I wouldn't say that this is just my own opinion. If we own PMBOK and we look at the processes that have to be done over the course of the planning of the project, or managing of the project, you see there are lots of activities that are mostly typical done by resource managers, by team leads that are in PMBOK. They call members of the project management team. And it's very typical from the PMBOK 2012 perspective that a project manager defines WBS elements. He builds the WBS dictionary, and then the elements of the dictionary are assigned to members of the project management team of the project. So these are the resource managers normally, or team leads. And then the team leads should drill down those WBS elements. They should define activities, and they should sequence the activities, estimate the resources, estimate durations, then finally develop schedule, and then later, over the course of the project, control it. And how can this be done in Microsoft Project Server? I wouldn't say that it's actually convenient and it's possible. So you can do this with master projects, but this creates a lot of overhead work for project managers to create sub-projects for all of the WBS elements, then assign this to resource managers. And another problem here is that if a resource manager changes something in his sub-project, it automatically reflects in the project schedule, which is not good, because in this case, project manager is not actually controlling his own schedule of his project. There's also deliverables mechanism in Project Server, but it's not very convenient, and from my perspective, I never managed to use it successfully. Maybe I'm wrong, and again, maybe in chat you write me your experience with that. But I mean, I didn't manage to implement this model in Project Server out of the box. And so then the question is, how should Project Server work? What should it support? I would say that to support this kind of management, this managerial approach, then I think we should implement the concept of what I call a team plan. There should be something independent and really manageable, and something independent from project plans. So I think that the team plan, it should be something, a kind of a Microsoft project file managed by a team lead or resource manager. And this team plan, of course, it should incorporate tasks or WBS elements that are assigned to this team. And of course, those tasks should somehow get into this plan automatically when they are assigned by project manager. And of course, the main parameters, the main attributes of those tasks, like the duration, work amount, start and finish, etc., should also be copied to a team plan. So team lead or resource manager should see this information. But then the team manager should have the opportunity to drill this down, to define activities, sequence them, assign his resources, and of course do some leveling around that, play with these subtasks, and assign them in the most convenient and proper way he sees that. And of course, this team plan should also incorporate other activities like administrative work, like trainings, vacations, some maybe proposals, meetings, going to some clients, a lot of things that actually are not planned by project managers in their plans, and are not, maybe even are not part of any of the project plans. But still, they utilize the resource time, the team members' time, and it should be planned and it should be calculated in the workload of the team. And also, I think the other thing is that um, this plan should be connected. So the project 1 task, project 2 task, they should be connected to their respective plans. But I think that they should be, they shouldn't automatically update each other. I mean, if a project manager updates his plan, it doesn't mean that the team plan should be automatically updated. I think the information about updates in the project plan should be visible in team plan, but the team lead, being a manager of his own plan, he should make his own decisions, and once an update from project plan is coming, like project manager moved a certain task like 1 week later, then the team manager should make his own decision whether he cannot move the project task in his plan to 1 week or maybe 2 weeks later because of the other activities. Or maybe he should call a project manager and insist of returning this task time frame to original position. And vice versa. If some high priority non-project work is assigned to a team and a team manager is updating the mix of the work and it reflects, for example, to the project 2 task, like postponing it 1 week later, the project manager should see this information in his plan, but it shouldn't move his plan automatically forward 1 week. He should have the authority, again, either accept this, maybe reject and try to push the team lead to return his back on track, or maybe the project manager can postpone his plan for 3 weeks, for example, if you want to add some contingency buffer, if he sees the additional risks with this task. So, I mean, the owner of the plan should be fully responsible for his plan, and it should be connected with other plans, but it shouldn't be automatically updated. And I think if this concept could be implemented in a project server, in enterprise project management solution, this would give the real flexibility, and this would create a real team manager UI, team manager interface, and the possibility to manage his team. And the other thing, what I see from my clients, this will, this manner of work would remove a lot of overhead work from project managers. Because in a project, in strong matrix structure, if, for example, a team member got sick, then a project manager has to find a replacement and update his plan. And these changes may create, may happen daily, and this creates a lot of overhead for the project managers. If a project manager assigns WBS element to a team lead, and now team lead is responsible for delivering a certain WBS element on time, then the team lead is responsible for planning, for managing, for assigning resources, updating resources on this WBS element. Then a project manager can focus more on the results of the whole project, on the risks, etc., without need to juggling people from some other departments. And most of my clients enjoy this style of work. And I think that project server should support this as well. So how can we implement this concept without rewriting or recoding the project server? Actually, I would say with this presentation, I would just like to focus your attention to this style of work and maybe some drawbacks that project server has at the moment. And maybe this will be addressed in the next version, who knows. But if you like this kind of work and if you see that project server maybe lacks this, what can you do? I think you can utilize the partner solutions that are available on the market. For example, what we do, we also created a solution that addresses this issue. And The architecturally, what we did, we developed a project professional add-on that manipulates that when you are in a project plan, it takes data out of team plans and copy to your project plan and vice versa, and generates emails with reminders and things like that. And the very important thing in solution we developed is that we use custom fields for data exchange. So if a project manager changes start to finish date, it doesn't update the standard start to finish date fields in the team leads plan. It is getting copied to custom fields, so it is visible, and a team lead can see with indicators the difference between custom fields and his standard fields. But he takes his own decision if he wants to update the standard fields or not. So that's the idea behind our solution. And of course, the second part of the architecture is the SharePoint side, where we store all the information about the settings, which standard fields data should be copied to custom fields data, and vice versa. And of course, we use the server-side web service for more efficient taking data out of the database from personalization and things like that. And so that's, to be short, that's what we did. And I think that if you like this style of work, you can. I will be happy to set up a demo with you and make a demonstration of how this could work. And of course, you can take a look at the market. I think there are a number of maybe alternative solutions for the same style of management of the projects. And again, I would like to hear from you in chat if you like this idea or not, or maybe you would like to argue with me. So please take your time and write. I would be happy to answer you. So in case you get interested, please let me know. Please just drop me an email, and I'll be happy to set a demo for you and show this solution in real life. And so thank you very much. And now I'll be looking for your questions. We'll be happy to reply to them. Thank you.